Hello. Welcome to another vlog. So I missed the opportunity to stream yesterday. Yeah, I got stuck in the traffic. Took me so long to get back home, and when I arrived, I didn't have much energy to do anything. So decided to postpone the stream. It's happening a lot recently, so today I was just pushing myself to uh, yeah, basically go live and do some streaming. This is probably one of the most unprepared streams I'm going to have today, but this is fine because my plan today is um, yeah, to dig deeper and actually learn a little bit more about different encodings and what are their differences. But before that, some housekeeping stuff. So the notes for the past two streams are now live on my blog. I also added a few goodies to my blog, and also below this video I shared some link to get more feedback from people who are interested to yeah, basically help me learn together and stuff like that. Yeah, the main motivation for that, to be honest, is the feedback I got from I believe his name is Igor uh, on Mastodon. So basically I was doing some mistake on my code, and his feedback basically helped me to yeah, basically uh, figure that out. I was just overlooking the problem, and he's kind enough to retweet my stream as well. So that being said, I apart from the comments inside the videos, down below the videos, I sometimes also share them on Mastodon and Blue Sky. I'm not that much active on these social media, but yeah, basically I have an A10 bot that generates these tweets to just advertise them across. And I'm also trying to always be online on this Matrix channel workspace, whatever its name is. So far it's empty, but I'm going to use it to get in contact with people who are interested. I'm not sure if it's going to take off or not, but for me it's a confidence that I've done my part. If people get interested, I would be happy. So so far so what I've done here is the implementation of the character counter on my version of WC, and I'm quite happy with it. But it was also interesting, the approach that we achieved it in Zig compared to what's happening in actually, let me quickly open it up. Yeah, what's happening in coreutils implementation. So in the last stream, what I learned was their approach. Actually, I think I had a link to their implementation somewhere here. I search GitHub. Yes, this is it. Good thing about taking notes. And if GitHub, yeah. So the implementation here is they will check the user's locale setup, and based on that they decide if they want to count multi-byte or single byte encoding, right? And if it is multi-byte, which in modern systems I assume is most of the time multi-byte, they're going to take an approach here. First, prefer to count single bytes, just like how the implementation of let me open that one as well. Zig UTF-8 code points count, just like the implementation of Zig. And this is from Zig's standard library, and to be honest, it's way more readable. So what they do is basically check if it is in the range of ASCII character code points, and then yeah, basically they count it as ASCII if it's ASCII. Actually, it's happening here. If not, they're going to count it as Unicode, but also try to expand it, making sure it's Unicode. In WC version, what they do is they utilize a macro. If I can find it here, yeah, MBCUR max. They utilize this macro to find out the locale, and if it is multi-byte, they are going to utilize a C function, which was I think 2WC, yeah, MB2WC, which basically expands the character into their character representation from bytes to character representation, and try to count based on that, right? And if it's, for example, a new line, they're going to increase the counts on the line. What I don't know yet is what is the possibility that there is a encoding type that we are going to miss based on this implementation, because this is basically trying to count UTF-8 and has a fallback on ASCII, right? But what type of encodings we are going to miss? And to figure that out, I'm going to solely rely on LLM, ChatGPT, to learn that. Hello, Ethosius. I hope I read it correctly. I'm going to also move the chat to a new window if possible. It was something. Yeah. Pop open. So let's move this to here, close this off, and we just keep it up here. So, in case somebody left a message for me. Yeah, that being said, let's switch to Copilot and actually copy this. In the following implementation. Popular use cases. This is the worst question I have ever asked in an LLM, but let's hope. LLM is smart enough to answer to me. we are using Cloud Sonnet. I actually want to change that to GPL menu under CG to Copilot GPT-5, please. And yeah, it's take a little bit longer, but I think I would like GPT-5's answer here more than Claude's. Main cases: file isn't UTF-8 at all, it's UTF-16, 32 GBK, ISO. So there are some cases. Your function validates as UTF-8 and will error if you try to be latent. Okay, you could miscount code points. UTF-8 with BOM. Mixed or corrupted encodings. Glyphs versus code points. Yeah, I think this is based on my comment here in my test in the last stream. There are some character code points that don't have visible glyphs, especially in Persian typography or Arabic typography, where the characters will be glued together without any space. So those glyphs, and I think both WC and my program are counting them wrong. Because yeah, as I said, there are 5. If that's the case, there should be 5 character code points, but we are getting 4 as output. Yeah, if the file is pure UTF-8, that's the okay. Let's first verify my assumption about WC. WC will check the character code points based on systems configuration. So it is ignoring files encoding. Is it subject to the same errors you listed above? Short answer, yes, largely the same with a few differences. Locale assumption. WC doesn't detect file encoding, it decodes using your current locale's encoding. If the file's encoding differs, it can miscount or emit illegal byte sequences. Okay, GNU WC still produce count, but they won't be meaningful. Okay, so BSD WC implementation is handling it. Maybe that's a good idea to check that implementation as well. Invalid mix encoding, same issues. BLM in locale UTF, yeah. Check boundaries. WC uses the standard multi-byte stateful decoder, so it correctly handles sequences split across reads. Your current Z code doesn't, unless you carry over partial sequences. Oh yeah. Okay, this chunk boundary is important. So let me leave it to do here. to do subject to error for split on chunk. Okay. Counts code points, multi-byte guide, not user. ZWJs, yeah, that's true. cPOSIX locale. If LC all length CWC count bytes effectively, so no decoding errors, then multi-byte characters are miscounted. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So WC is subject to the same. So in general, it would be safer if we rely on files encoding. Yes, if you know or detect the files encoding and decode accordingly, you avoid it. I think there was some difficulty on you can't always know for sure, but you can get close with a mix of signals. That's why WC is relying on locale, assuming if the user is asking for character count. Protocols. Explicit metadata. Byte order mark. If present, it's a strong hint. Absence doesn't prove. UTF-8, okay, try it. Strict UTF 8 validation if it fully validates likely. If not, test common signal byte encoding. Libraries, ICU character set. There are some statistical detector, domain context hints. Yeah. Yeah, this is a problem. ASCII only files look valid in many encodings because almost every encoding tries to be backward compatible with ASCII. So WC's approach is actually quite practical, reducing the complexity. If a user is asking for character count, No, this is not true, right? Because maybe they are opening it in an editor that is implementing these stuff or gives them an option to select. What if we provide users with an argument to define the encoding? Let's always fall back on UTF-8. I think this would be practical. That's good. Practical design. Add a flag encoding and it'll be regardless of the flag if how do you compare it to WC's approach? Your approach versus WC. Encoding selection, yours explicit. Encoding with UTF-8 default, optional to detect BOM honored. WC uses current locale, no file override, no detection, robustness. Yours predictable across machines, handles UTF-8, UTF-16 and 32 not yet. By a BOM flag, WC behavior varies by platform locale. Configurable, fail yours, configurable, fail replace, fallback. WC in UTF-8 locales, invalid bytes may error on BSD or produce the dubious count. Semantics can count code points. I hope my implementation is as robust as this suggests. Yours same resort regardless of yours or locale. Yeah, I think this is the main point, right? Our approach, if we give the user option to define the encoding and we can support them reliably and raise error, is just explicit. So the application is not making decisions for user, right? Assuming something. But what do I need? What it means basically is that I need to be able to count different types of encodings. So it's not just giving an option to the user, but also being able to both verify what user is asking is possible to count, just like how UTF-8 count in Zig library is working. Let's check out this code. Wow, this is super simple. This switch is optimized much better than a smart approach using CLZ. Given the first byte of a UTF-8 code point returns a number 1 to 4 indicating total lengths of the code points in bytes. If this byte doesn't match the form of a UTF-8 start byte, returns okay. There is also a UTF-16 implementation. How different is this one? UTF-16 LE indicator. What is this? Beautiful. No documentation in it. How does this even work? Okay. U21. Okay, maybe I can keep it simple for now, right? So based on this design, guide me to implement a stable design to support UTF-8 and ASCII format. Right, so other implementations I can get back to later on. Design goal, phase 1, support UTF-8 streaming. Output code point. Optionally also bytes if desired. Okay, only UTF-8 and ASCII, so no heuristic detection. ASCII mode, validate all bytes. This is something already done in the library, right? Determine expected sequence length from the first byte. Okay, streaming algorithm outline. This one I liked. So maintain tail for with tail and 3 read chunk into buffer, prevent tail to current chunk, copy if tail is bigger than 0, process sequentially if remaining bytes less than expected lengths, copy reminder into tail, else okay over loop until the end, BLM handling before counting the first code point if first 3 bytes are FF, BB, BF, skip them, unless keep bomb. Zig implementation sketch. This is done inside this. So ChatGPT is bullshitting me. I don't need to implement that part. Is valid continuation. Masking it with masked byte with C0 is equal to validate UTF-8 sequence. Testing tips. ASCII file counts match, yeah. UTF-8 file with bomb count differs by 1. While ending with truncated multi-byte sequence, strict error. Let's copy this. I need syntax highlighting here. I just get nervous without highlighting on the call it llm.zig to have the syntax highlighting. Okay. Encoding. Expected, okay, is valid. Let's start from the main. We have some errors here. Right, and from here what's happening? Some allocator open file. If pass range that, yeah, this we have. Try count put points. Tail and total first chunk. While true. Read 4 byte. If n is 0, we didn't read anything, then break. File is finished. Build a working slice. Tail is current read. So what it does is this is 4 megabytes. This is 4 bytes. We are okay. The tail we are considering is 4 byte. That's why we are making temporary buffer of this side, right? And then for work, if tail then is bigger than 0, where we are setting the tail length, it's still 0 here. So we have not changed. We are not going to end up here. What we do is do our work. Basically copy what we read in those 4 bytes into the work, right? Where I use size handle bomb only at very start. So if it is the first chunk, we set it true. At the end of it, we are going to set it to false. If the encoding is UTF-8 and keep bomb is not set, what we do we check those 3 bytes and set I to 3. Okay. If not, we set the first chunk to false and just move forward. Right. I think this else if is not necessary, right? Oh yeah, if we put it down here, it will always set it to false in each iteration. Maybe it's just safer to have it inside this work, but regardless, it's... Oh no, okay, yeah. So this is fine, and then here we say if I is less than work.len. Work is the bytes we read initially, right? We have still not processed this, right? We are here. It's probably 4 megabyte. No, we are reading 4 megabytes. So if it's still less than that, that's fine. Oh, okay. Well, basically what, yeah, it says. Setting this to 3, initially 0. So if it doesn't have bomb, it's not UTF-8. You want to keep it. Uh, it's set to 0. If not, we start from 3 to count. And I is just the cursor that we are reading through it. Okay, if encoding is ASCII, BI through it, each invalid high bit. Okay, if we have an invalid byte, continue. If this is set, if not, raise invalid ASCII. For UTF-8, first okay, sequence lengths, expected UTF-8 lengths. This is the function that returns 1, 2, 3, 4. If sequence length is 0, here we start from 1. Oh, means it's ASCII. There is no 0. Oh, invalid leading byte. Okay. Again, if it's lenient, what does it mean? I need to check it in Persian. Wish. What was it? Huh. So do not be
lenient.
Lenient. Okay. Thanks. If lenient, replace it count 1. If I plus sequence len is bigger than the work len, incouple sequence a chunk and stash in tail. Okay, this is where we set the tail in. And we set the tail then. Here it means that we know, for example, encoding is 4 byte, and for some reason the amount we have read is not that 4 byte. We put whatever we have read into the tail sequence that we had and indicate the tail length, right? And in the next iteration we are going to prepend that and read the remaining bytes from the next chunk to make a full chunk out of it. This is actually smart. And const sequence validate UTF-8 sequence. This is the second function that they have. Okay, if you consumed all, clean the tail length. This is an unreachable section, and return this is. Quite elaborate. Okay. And how do we validate? So we are not using UTF-8 count code points because of this, right? Because when this decode is raising an error, which is UTF-8 decode error, we cannot skip it. But do I want to skip it? You know, based on this implementation that the LLM is providing, I can ask it to count UTF-8, right, while my file is something else, something outside the range of UTF-8 and ASCII, right? And for some reason the encoding on all of them are failing, and when I say set this lenient option, I'm basically returning the wrong result, right? I think I prefer here to use for user to not have that option. However, the technique that it has used for tail recursion is actually interesting. So two things. First thing is the BOM implementation that I want, and the second one is that tail safety. Okay. So let's go to main.zig. first thing, I'm going to here add another option, encoding. Okay. And this can be set to right. Actually, I need to put it down here. Const encoding is an enum of UTF-8 ASCII, and here let's do a print here, and I want you to print, okay, not here, I need to be down here, res.args dot encoding zig build. Okay, yeah, I don't know that output type. So by default, it's set to null. And if I do encoding n, it will raise an error. And if I do UTF-8, so can I do if not res.args encoding didn't delete this one, but let's do it. Oh yeah, should do res.args encoding, or do const encoding equal to res.args encoding, or else Um, 8. Ah. I do encoding dot this, please. Okay. To discard the value, why I need to discard the value? I return here? I don't think so. Let's do class examples. Hopefully they have optional values. Let's do Copilot. I have an optional value in big. How can I set a default for it? Okay, if I do curly braces, I need to use the block syntax then. Okay, got it. Now, I'm going to use a polar here, and then yeah. What other options do I have? I had encoding. Let's do it. That's sick. It's had 3 options somewhere. Oh, cheap bomb. Okay, this one I'm going to add as well. Yeah. Now get character count needs this was kind of stupid. I needed to move it out like this and make it capital. Yeah. Now, where am I? Count balance. Yeah. Encoding and args rest dot args dot shape. How do they translate this? Is it like underscore or on? Assume this is the case. Okay, let's assume that was the case, and I print them here to at least make a use. See, encoding. There are any options with dash inside? No options with dash. How does it work then? Keep on bomb. Give me this. Can I print like this less arcs. See what is happening there, and down here just remove this and set true. Is not able to print. Oh, is that a valid syntax? It's not, right? I cannot do. No, that's a negative. Copilot in Zig, how can I get access to a struct key like to bomb? You're thinking so long, man. Ooh, okay. Very ugly, but so be it. It would be like this. Cool. Y is 0. I don't think it is castable to wolves. I think that was the case with Zig, but let's try it. So I say res args no, but display exit option str. This is just weird. Why it's setting 0 and 1? I don't know why they made this decision, but yeah, I think safest way is to just do bomb is if And then here just do, no, that's not what I intended to do. Cool. So far I have my arguments in place. This is funny, even adding arguments, I am struggling with the syntax, but what I want to do now var first chunk is equal to true, and if first chunk and not keep on it's and, right? And a few other conditions here. The first 3 characters of the red pass in the file, right? Let's do else if first chunk equal to false. Also do it here. First chunk equal to false. And I want to have var start equal to 0, right? And here I would do start equal 3 if that condition happened, right? And do start until size. Okay, now I need Copilot's help. Actually, the one in LLM is easier to read for me. Okay, also the encoding we need to check. This piece I'm going to copy inside main.zig. And for work, I'm going to, for now, unzo replace work with bot. Yeah. or maybe just do it like the thing LLM did. I do this check in a different condition. If like this and move this, just for the sake of simplicity. But now we are sure if bomb happens, then the character shift that we were worried about here will happen. Okay, I think this piece I'm going to keep for the next session. This was quite fun so far. I'm happy with the discovery. Helped me to have basically learned a lot today. Yeah, that's it for today. I hope to get back here somewhere tomorrow. Thanks for watching if you spent time here, and let me know what do you think in the comments, or reach out to me on Matrix. Would be happy to hear you. With that, I think I'm done for today. Have a nice evening. See you later.